All right, guys. Hello. We are back for round three. My apologies sincerely for the technical difficulties, but now I don't know if they could stop us now. First of all, let's make sure you can hear me. If you can hear me now, can you hear me now? Like that guy on the, on
I
the
can hear
phone,
you.
the phone commercial. You could hear me. I think the chat could hear me, and now we've got Hunter in on speakerphone. That's what we've resorted to, guys. We're using a speakerphone, but we're gonna give you the show because we promised you a show. Hunter, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's nice talking to you on the phone, like the Stone Ages.
I know. I feel like we're streaming on like MySpace or something. Like we're like really digging deep to go into this. But we promised the audience a show, and we're gonna gosh darn give it to them. I appreciate you
Oh
hanging
yeah.
in there, my friend. But let's go ahead and skip over the intro stuff. We talked about your new video a few times, but to catch things up, Hunter had a pretty awesome video today called "Exposing Ashley St. Clair," I believe was the official title.
Yeah, right wing fraud.
Okay, right wing fraud. And let me just first ask you about that video. How do you feel about it so far? You think it's doing well? Did you really enjoy how it turned out?
I definitely, yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. It was really a lot of fun to make, a lot of fun to research and put together. I'll be honest, I was hoping for a little bit more views off the bat, but a lot of this stuff is sometimes it starts out slow and picks up over time. So
Sure.
yeah, the video was really fun to make. It was my first exposed piece that I've done,
Mm-hmm.
so it was really a lot of fun. Definitely a good experience.
Cool, cool. Yeah, I think it turned out good. I saw it earlier today. Looked awesome. A lot of good points. I think some people are asking because let's go ahead and define a few things. We'll go through some more of the video too because we did the intro like two or three times. By the way, thank you guys for tuning back in. Appreciate you sticking through these tech difficulties, but I think we're on a roll now. So basically, the grifter idea. The grifter is just a term. It's like what people would say. Oh, this person it doesn't have honest intentions. Like maybe someone that's just in it for the money or someone that wants attention. And specifically, a lot of people use it for politics and like, oh, these people are trying to say they're Trump supporters. In this case, it's a lot of new people saying they're Trump supporters. Oh, I love Trump. I'm wearing a MAGA hat. And that's all fine and dandy. Like it's not like we don't want fans, but when you discover like dark secrets, like some of the stuff you revealed, it is kind of like weird and troubling.
Right. It's a little bit disheartening to see people like Ashley St. Clair who uses the conservative movement to kind of garner fame and recognition. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like what I said in my video. Like being conservative is about being honest and truly sticking to your guns and believing in what you say. But it does seem that Ashley is doing a lot of the things she's doing for money and for clout, and that's kind of why
Mm-hmm.
I brought up her controversial past. Again, like what I said in the video, they were just allegations. Um,
Sure.
but that's why I brought up her controversial past, because she seems to have a tendency, if those allegations are true, of exploiting herself for money and for fame.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, and I could see that, and I think where I go with this too, because I'm also hesitant. Like I've called out people wherever, but I noticed you were being careful with your video because you're like, oh, I don't want to just call out people on our own side. We don't want like infighting. We're not trying to be dicks, but there is a point where it is a negative to your side, or you just want to call someone out who's really not bringing anything to the table is like what I would say. Like, because there are some grifters that can be like almost like a useful and they're helping the cause, like our cause being like, conservative values, supporting Trump, pro-America stuff. So if they go so far as to be like, oh, they are actually helpful and maybe even like making their own content, I think that could be cool actually. You might still call them out on their dark past or something, but they've changed their ways in that sense. But with this one, it's like you were saying, it just seemed like it was being done for attention. Like St. Clair is more just like trying to get popular and get some money off of it, but not really kind of like bringing any content or anything to the table.
Right. I mean, she literally got famous off being a Twitter personality, which is just the easiest way to kind of gain recognition. Um, And it's kind of frustrating seeing her come out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden, it's just like, oh, everyone's like, oh, Ashley St. Clair, she's the conservative hero, blah, 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 when all she's done is just post some things on Twitter and then post some kind of skimpy selfies wearing MAGA hats or whatever. Like, she's not really very special, and she also, honestly, she doesn't make the conservative cause look good, like what you said earlier about how there is such thing as, like, I guess, like a useful grifter. Like, obviously, you still want people to be honest about their cause, but like you said, sometimes if they're spreading, like, the conservative values and they're pro-Trump, like, it doesn't necessarily matter, but
yeah, there's a lot of times where you could look the other way and you're just like, you're not going to say anything, but there's points, and I think this is where it happened with you with this video and this character. It's like, you got past a point where you're just going to, like, you just got to say something. You want to call it out. You want to put someone on blast, and that happens sometimes. And I think with this situation, yeah, back to me, and this is like a kind of like a common trend on Twitter. It's like, there's very rare people on Twitter that I'm actually going to be like into and watching, and like they have some videos sometimes and like actual content. I mean, besides a few tweets, it's like, but it's like anyone could get famous on Twitter. So in this case, it was kind of just like someone piggybacking, and like I think a lot of it had to do with, you got it, like her looks, like she's trying to be pretty girl in a hat, pretty girl, sometimes holding a weapon, like supporting the Second Amendment, stuff like that. But besides that, I'm just like, what are they actually doing? Like, it's like someone that's almost just like famous just for being famous.
Right, and the thing is that she's really not doing anything. And as I talked about in my video, what's even worse than just, I mean, again, it would be one thing if, like, oh, she criticized Trump, or, oh, she criticized Turning Point USA or something. That doesn't really matter, and that's kind of what I tried to clarify in my video. It's the fact that she criticizes Trump, but then tweets about all of his accomplishments, and is like, oh, I'm pro-Trump, and how she really went hard on Turning Point USA. She said that, for those of you who are watching the stream that haven't seen my video yet, you should check it out to see the full context. You can see the clips too. But for her to say that Turning Point is nothing but a bunch of white guys with hard-ons and MAGA hats or whatever, and for people to, for her to say Turning Point sucks and Turning Point, this, that, the other thing, do anything, that.
Yeah, I think I know what you're saying. It's like, it's just someone that just flip-flops so recently too. It's like, have you really changed?
Right.
Like, you got to put some time behind that. I mean, I'm not going to say like never forget. It's not like anything that's been said is like, I don't know, going to kill her career completely, but.
Right, and like everyone's beliefs and views changes, and that's fine. Like, I mean, if you look at my old belief, like some of the stuff that I used to post when I was much younger, I mean, it is pretty different than what I believe now, but that's not the same as crap talking Turning Point USA, and then 2 months later joining them and tweeting like, oh, they're patriots, oh, they're so wonderful, I love them, or whatever, after you were just like talking a bunch of crap about them. That just, it comes off really fake. And maybe it's not fake. If it's not fake, she owes us an explanation, like what I said in the video.
Right. Yeah, and I could totally see. I think some kind of explanation, and just even, I never ask for apologies, but if you just kind of like, I don't know if you could just ignore this at this point. Like, you got to kind of be like, all right, I did some dumb shit or something, like in order to move on, and then otherwise it's just
she tried to
pretend it doesn't happen.
She tried to rectify her comments on when she made those comments about immigration, where she said that Republicans don't care about real issues because they care about illegal immigration. She tried to clarify and rectify that by saying, oh, sometimes I mischaracterize my beliefs in the heat of a debate. But I watched that entire live stream. It was like an hour and a half, and it was really not a very good stream. But I watched the entire thing, and there was no debate in that stream. She was not debating. She was with her friends talking. It'd be like if me and you right now were talking, and then I said something that contradicted my beliefs.
Yeah,
that's
it's like,
kind of what happened.
I that's a good place to pivot and talk about debates a little bit, because I think there's some funny things to say there. First of all, there's a few comments going around. Like we see these super chats asking about your debate with Nick Fuentes, telling you to debate Nick Fuentes, and then like I hear that all the time myself from other fans bases. It's like, oh, debate me, and then there's that meme. It's like, debate me, bro. But like, what is like a debate really? Like all these people calling things debates, and then back to the St. Clair one you're talking about. Like I feel like they almost think debate is like synonymous with a stream. You know?
I don't really know. Yeah, I mean, I know that a lot of people have been bothering me to debate Nick, and I was thinking about it, but I did decide not to because I honestly don't want to debate him. I don't care to debate him. He wanted to debate on things that I don't really talk about, so I was basically from the start. Like when he actually challenged me to debate, I was kind of confused at first because I was like, why is this guy trying to debate me when like I don't even talk about the same things at all?
Yeah, I think
you know,
that thing. It's like that sometimes where they just want to get that attention or something. I'm trying to get this freaking right camera. Sorry, my thing. But yeah, the whole thing, the whole debate me, it just always seems like an attention thing. And I know some people are really passionate.
It is an attention thing. And
yeah,
it is an attention thing. And since I kind of toyed around with the idea of debating Nick, he has been like obsessing over me since then. Maybe the guy's in the closet or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems a little crazy, and I mean, I've watched this show a few times. Like I've barely seen it. Like I don't watch that many like live streams. Like I've seen a lot of these other debate people though, and it's like it's never a good sign. I mean, I know that Fuentes is a conservative leaning guy, of course, but usually when we hear this stuff, it's like about all these other left leaning people. It's like a lot of Twitch people want to stream and like. Destiny wants the gotcha scream or something. Vegans always love streaming. And that's another thing I actually wanted to talk about. I was just thinking about it as I said it. You know, you just did a stream with the vegan, right?
Vegan Games, yeah.
How did that go?
Week. It went, I kind of wish it would have gone better than it did. But he really was very stupid. So it was really
shocking,
really quite interesting trying to debate him because what he does is, and you can look over the stream at some point. And like I said, I didn't do as well as I would have liked to, but
it's hard, and that brings me back too because I actually talked about this last week as well because. Our last guest, Mr. Reagan, was just going through the rounds of streaming with some of those people that I mentioned, and then we both did the streams with the vegans at one point or another. I did a couple years ago. And yeah, I think that comes back to the whole question. Like when people do ask for debates now, it's like, yeah, usually I just say no nowadays because I'm just like, it's not fun. It's not worth your time. It's like really annoying. And I know people are going to take that and they're going to take that from us like, oh, we're just afraid we're going to lose or something. But it's really not like that. It's just for me, mostly like I just don't want to waste the time. It's not, you don't really get much out of it.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I think that we might disagree slightly on that. I guess we can start debating about it. No, I'm kidding.
Let's debate debates.
Yeah, I do like to debate, but back to what I was saying really quick, I want to get to the vegan games thing, but what I was saying about Nick, the Nick Fuentes thing, the other thing was he's definitely more right than I am for sure, but I kind of see that still as like infighting a little bit. I don't like to be, and that's kind of why that was one of the biggest things I was hesitant about with this Ashley St. Clair video, because I don't like infighting. I prefer to just kind of be looking past our disagreements and just fighting the totalitarian side of the left. But I don't know, like I said, he wanted to debate a lot of things that I legitimately don't talk about, and also I'm completely willing to admit that a lot of the things he wanted to debate me on are like things that I'm not really all that familiar with because again they're not topics that I discuss. So I was sort of confused why he even was calling me out, like, oh, debate me, Hunter, and I'm like, I don't talk about the same things that you talk about. But as far as the vegan games debate, what he would do is he would lay out like impossible or unrealistic hypotheticals to try and get a gotcha.
I remember those. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I heard a couple of those.
Yeah, and it's so ridiculous. Like, I'd be like, well, the fetus is a human because, it has human DNA, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, well, what if it's an alien with human DNA? And I was like, what? I don't know. Like,
yeah, I've heard. I know exactly. Yeah, I've heard a
could
few of the
make
alien arguments. There's always like an argument about like something like, well, aliens. What if aliens came over to Earth and they looked down upon us? And would it be okay if they ate us like we were cows? Like, it's just the dumbest suggestion ever. I mean, I could see the logic. Like, I could follow them if I try, but at the same time, we're both like common sense, reasonable guys where we're just like, this is stupid.
Well, yeah, and my favorite one that he tried to lay out, though, was he kept trying to say that if I'm against abortion, then I am against women having bodily autonomy, which means that I would be okay with a woman getting raped. Which I was like, no, because the fetus is different than someone making a conscious decision to violate your bodily autonomy. Like, what do you?
Yeah, seriously, that's a big leap. That's a big leap.
He literally said he's like, what if the rapist was mind controlled or something? And I'm like, so we're talking about a mind controlled rapist now? Like, I don't know.
Jesus.
Because the thing is, that's such a bad way to debate, because you can literally always make up a hypothetical to contradict someone's logic. If you're just making it up, you can just do it forever. You can make anything up.
Yeah.
I mean, no logic will stretch and make sense with every single hypothetical. Like, and that's why eventually I was just like, dude, you keep laying out these like unrealistic, ridiculous hypotheticals, and we're not going anywhere. Like, we're not getting anywhere with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to stick to the real world. You got to have some limits. And then other things I've noted about debates before is, like a real debate would have like a moderator and like preset like points, like you could prepare. Like if we're talking like, I know we're not always doing formal stuff here on YouTube. I mean, we're recording on speakerphone on a webcam, but at the same time, I mean, the way they set up the debates and they say, oh, you should debate them, like, and then they get you in there and then you're like, oh, it's not really debate, is it? This guy's just streaming, playing League of Legends, and you're fucking like, oh shoot, cursed. We're supposed to not curse, but I just did because it's a live show. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but I think you get the point, and I appreciate the chat and the super chats. You guys are awesome. 400 people watching. A little lower than last week, but still really good. I guess, the confusion and the disconnected on the first couple tries didn't work out too good, but appreciate the super chats too. We're going to get to each one. If you guys still have thoughts or questions you want to get into, Hunter Avallone is on the line. We got a late start, so we only got about maybe 10 minutes left. You still got a few minutes, Hunter?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I can probably talk for another 10, 15 minutes.
Great. Yeah, we'll probably do another 10, and then I'll wrap up with the chat after the call. But to catch up on the super chats, Lucky Llama says facts over feelings in debates, and most lefties don't get that. I could see that for sure. I think there's a lot of appeals to emotion on their side and a lot of kind of like manipulative tactics. Some people have their different routes. You were just talking about one, like the alien stuff, and just like, trying to make these crazy analogies that just melt your brain. They're so stupid. But besides that, yeah, debates are crazy. Debates are silly sometimes. Someone said, I see Actual Justice Warrior in the chat. He's another friend of the channel. Thanks for watching, dude. So I'm keeping an eye on both chats and stuff. But besides that, what else is there to talk about? Is there any other thoughts that you were thinking of, Hunter, on that point?
Not so much on the Ashley St. Clair thing, but kind of like what I already said, I did cover it all extensively in my new video, so you guys watching should definitely go check that out. Yeah,
definitely, guys. Check out Hunter Avallone on YouTube. New video out today, the Expose Ashley St. Clair. Good stuff. Definitely go over there. I'll put a link in the description after this stream's over for the people watching it on repeat. But besides that, yeah, I was going to get into, we kind of went through the grifter thing, other Twitter celebs, and the not having content. That's the part that kills me the most about the Twitter stuff, is like, if you're not really making anything, like, what are you here for? But I think the other part about that is, I do want to bounce back. One more thought I had about the St. Clair thing was, we talked about the pretty pictures that she posted. It's kind of like her claim to fame is just being like cute and conservative. you know. And there was one little anecdote I had. I've been wanting to tell someone this, and I think you might appreciate it now that we've been talking about it. But at one point, I think I followed her on Instagram too. Like I followed a bunch of different people on there, and I just remember her posting this like really revealing picture one point, and it was like she tried to get some new headshots done or something. She said it in the post. She's like, "New headshots, tell me what you think." And I looked at it and I was like, "Oh my god," because it was like so revealing. Like so like deepest cleavage you could think of, basically like a shirt that hangs down to her belly button.
Right on the border of like breaking Instagram's rules.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's why I was like, that's one story. It's just a small thing, but it reminded me of it. And when you made the video, I thought of it again because the other thing that happened was she posted that picture of her in the skimpy shirt, and that's kind of like her how she posts all her pictures because like that's how she's getting followers. But then with that one, she posted it and was like asking people what they thought, and apparently she got like some really bad reactions, and people probably called out like similar to what we're saying about the thoughtery and like just kind of being slutty because she pulled that picture down like right away. So she like deleted the post, and I think that's like, you know, that you could tie that into other stuff we talked about where it's just like, you know, she didn't even, if she was really like conservative, she would know better than to like kind of like, you know, if she was really into the cause, it wouldn't be about like trying to get these skimpy clothes on, you know. It'd be more about like let's post a picture or comment or something. I just thought that was really strange.
Yeah, you know, and a lot of like these. Kind of like what I mean, I talked about this in the video too, is she used to be kind of an ethot, allegedly. So it's not surprising at all that she's still trying to use, like, kind of play that sort of sex appeal, like, conservative thing. I mean, she literally is trying to be the sort of male conservative fantasy. But instead, she just comes off as incredibly fake and someone who just uses uses her sexuality for popularity and clout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's where it became real apparent to me too. It was like just, you know, because you could, there is a lot of times like, because it happens on our side too. It's kind of tricky actually because there's a lot of really good looking conservative girls out there, and that includes a lot of content creators and stuff like that, you know, people that make YouTube like ours and whatever. There's sometimes they happen to be hot chicks, and it's, you know, but you could tell the difference. You got to kind of like look between the lines because it's like sometimes they're just popular because they're hot, and it's like they don't really have any content, like the thing we talked about before, like not making any videos or anything. But the other times, like the rarer times, it's like they just happen to be hot, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong inherently with being hot, but it's like if you're like exploiting that and that's kind of like your claim to fame, that's where it's kind of like sucks.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being hot. I mean, look at me. But the problem is when if being hot is your only talent and that's all you have going for you, you're like, oh, I'm hot and I like Donald Trump, then like that's just lame.
Exactly. Yeah, there's not much to it. I mean, maybe that does it for a lot of people. I don't know. I'm not like, you know, I know plenty of people just follow good-looking people online, but it's like for me, not so much. Like maybe like Instagram is kind of like made for that. Like it's all about, you know, looks and stuff on there. But as far as like in general, like no, I want to, if I'm going to watch a video on YouTube, like I want it to at least have something I want to listen to. And the same with Twitter. I mean, Twitter is easier because you're just writing, but you know, after a while, I want to hear them actually have something to say, you know?
Right, exactly, and that's kind of like goes back to what you said before. Is that, I mean, she doesn't have a lot to say if her whole claim to fame is I'm pretty and I'm popular on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it
takes zero talent to do anything on Twitter. For
sure, and yeah, that's like a specific beef I could talk about just with Twitter all day, because I get that a lot. I kind of have like a love-hate relationship with Twitter because it's like, yeah, I use it a lot still, and I like getting the news on there. I get a lot of good stories on there too, stuff I talk about in videos. Like it's cool, but it's like you got to sift through a lot of shit. Like 10% of Twitter is worth your time, and then like 90% is just like, oh my god, it's like cringy or terrible.
Well, yeah, and that's why all the worst people are on Twitter, and that's also why the worst people and the dumbest people, the lowest common denominator, are all able to get famous on Twitter. Like, a lot of times you can look at these certain tweets that go viral, and they're tweeted out by accounts that are just so stupid.
Yeah, I know. It's surprising, and then I do want to give credit too, because like Twitter can be a great tool as well. Like I was saying, I do like follow a lot of people on there, but it's like, yeah, I think it's because it's so easy to get into. You know, like YouTube has that harder border of entry. Like you got to at least be able to make a video. You know, like it kind of has like a little bit of skill there. Granted, you know, those making videos gets easier every day with like phones and stuff, but still, like, but on Twitter, I mean, you just like type out like 100 characters and boom, you're like, you could get picked up and be on Fox News or something stupid.
Exactly. No, you're exactly right. It's definitely pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, good stuff. I guess we'll start to wrap things up. Final thoughts from the chat. I will stay on for a few minutes after this call, but we're gonna say bye to Hunter soon. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to have a shorter stream. All things considered today.
I could have stayed for longer.
No, I think it's good. I think we pulled it off. We did the phone thing. It's a little old school, but they seem to hear you. At least we got a show down, and we got to get some talk, get some hype about your video, which was really cool. And then we got other stuff going on soon. I know I've got a couple of videos coming out. I got a video tomorrow about that Democratic Socialist meeting, which I think will be really funny. Like you probably saw some of those clips.
That's funny. I'm actually dropping one on that Democratic Socialist meeting. I think
awesome.
Next week.
Yeah, good. Okay, then we're both. That's going to be a hot topic for everyone that's paying attention.
Hey, you always have my permission. You know, if you want to do video on Ashley St. Clair, you can always borrow from my video.
Yeah, let's go back and forth. Let's get the hype going. Keep spreading the love. Same thing with everybody watching in the chat. Appreciate you guys commenting, liking. I see another super chat from Llama. Thank you so much for the donation, by the way. He says, are you guys planning on interviewing voters and protesters? Are you worried about safety for the next coming election? Oh, that's a good question. You've done a lot of videos like that, Hunter. Do you have anything in the works? Do you think you're going to be doing any more of those man on the street videos?
Absolutely. You know, as the election starts approaching, I am going to have a lot more content out on the election. I'm going to have a video out on why I still support Donald Trump, why you should vote for him in 2020, and I'm also going to have some stuff where I'm kind of waiting to go after all the Democratic candidates right now, just because a lot of them, there's so many of them, and so many of them are irrelevant and don't stand a chance. But once things get down to the wire, like I do have some videos planned out that I'm going to be doing a hit piece on Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden pretty soon.
Cool.
Especially after you definitely heard Joe Biden's latest gaffe, right?
Yeah, I saw some really funny clips. I think I had thought about covering that too, because it's, oh my God, that guy is falling apart, dude. I think he's senile.
Could you imagine if Trump said that? The entire world would be like exploding, and then Biden says it, and the media's like, eh.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they tried to call out Trump's health when he first started up way back, and it was like he's in perfect health. Like they couldn't even get him, and they tried. But now we've got what's his name, Biden, like talking all like he's like losing his thoughts, and he sounds like an old man. I almost feel sorry for him.
Yeah, the thing is I don't really like, I really don't like, for example, AOC. Like, I just think she's so stupid and deliberate, whereas Biden, I almost just feel sorry for him, because I'm like, this guy's just like a senile old man who, like, thinks he has a chance. And I'm sorry, but for him to say, you know, what was the exact quote? It was like, he said, what was the exact quote? I'm trying to remember now.
The Biden one?
White kids. The Biden one, yeah.
I forget. The last one I remember was like the truth and facts one was like he said like our truth, like truth over facts or something, and it was just like really confusing. Yeah. But I think you're talking about a different one.
I'm talking about the one where he said anyone can be just as smart as white kids.
Yeah. I know that one too. Yeah, it was like he's like poor people. He said something like poor people can be just as well as white kids. Basically something like that. He was like implying like only black and brown people are poor or something. It's what it sounded like. It sounded real out of
He tried to
touch.
catch himself afterwards, but it was so obvious that he screwed up.
Yeah.
But dude, I do have to be heading out.
Okay, man. Thanks for coming on the show. You guys, thanks in the chat for listening. I'm gonna stick on for a minute, but let's go ahead and say bye to Hunter. Bye, dude.
Thanks for man. Thanks for having me on, and let's make sure that we do a live stream together on my channel sometime this week. All right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll do another stream on your channel, and we'll have you back one day soon too.
Sounds good. See you later, man. Thanks again for having me on.
Later, brother. Okay, guys, that was Hunter Avallone. I'm going to stay on for a few more minutes and just kind of wrap this thing up. I'm going to check the chat. I'm going to check in with you guys. Let me put my little camera on. I noticed everyone's getting into my hairdo. My hair's looking pretty good today. I hired a stylist to keep this thing looking good. I want to look good for you guys, and I felt bad about the intro and all that stuff going bad, but it looks like we're cruising along here. So if things keep rolling and you guys keep chatting, I see a couple super chats. I think I already got through them, but I'll read the regular chat too. Let's go ahead and bring this thing up. Let's see. I think it's under guest camera. Oh wait, no, here we go. Here's the chat. This might not be a bad idea, but let's do it. Chatterooski. It says, I hope they find a cure for leftism. We are chatting. Hello, hentai. Love you, bro. Love you, too. I love all you guys equally. I'm trying to, like, stretch it out a little ball. Okay, there we go. There's a little bigger. Someone says Hunter Avallone is fake. No, Hunter's our boy. He's awesome. Chris loves the channel. I'll go ahead and go through, and if you guys got any comments or thoughts or whatever, chatter up, Aruski, have some fun. Someone said I lost subs. I don't think that's true. I don't know. I've been doing well. I've been really enjoying your guys' participation, though. The comments are awesome. Here, also on the videos, we've been getting tons of likes. I appreciate that. Other stuff going on, though. We could make a couple announcements. Like we were saying, I got that video coming up tomorrow. We're also going on the Straight Pride Parade at the end of the month. That's only like 3 weeks away now, about 3 weeks. And then we've got a special surprise for October. October's going to be getting some new stuff in here. That's all I'll say for now. I want to wait till it gets a little closer. But besides that, yeah, good stuff. South Park's coming back. That's something I haven't got to talk about, and I kind of forgot about it. Like I get distracted with a lot of stuff. But let me go ahead and ask the chat. I switched back to the camera. Who here in the chat watch the South Park videos on the channel? So I guess maybe just press 1 in the chat if you watched any of our South Park videos. South Park is one of my favorite shows, if you hadn't heard. And you probably remember, like, I've been doing videos about them for a while, and it's coming back. September 25th is when South Park comes back. But I was just like thinking about it again because I kind of get rolling after the season's over. I try to do some South Park videos, and I kind of let it go because we're off season. The season starts on September 25th. I saw someone just comment that. Look at all those ones. You guys like the South Park videos. That's awesome. I thought I might try to make one early too, like to kind of get back to South Park. I might make one before the show starts, like early September, but at the end of September, we're getting a new season. And then that's where I want to talk about, because actually South Park comes up in tomorrow's video. I won't spoil it too much. I don't cover a South Park, but I mention it. And I want to know, what do you guys think is going to get covered on South Park this season? I could actually probably do a whole stream about this, but I'm really curious. Like, do you think they're going to get into maybe this election? I don't know. It's like a little early. I guess they might do the election like next year when it's 2020. But yeah, I don't know. It's like they could cover a lot of things going on. I don't think they're going to go back to Trump stuff anymore, but they could do some more technology stuff. Like the Amazon was a big thing last year. They did a lot of jokes about Netflix last year, and we did a lot of videos on it. So we'll definitely bring that show back. We're going to do South Park Explained as kind of like a side series here on No Bullshit. And that's why I thought about it again, because I heard the announcement for the new season, and I was like, oh, it's been 6 months since we've done a South Park video. That's like good and bad. I mean, it's kind of good because I like to take a break. I don't want to do too many South Park videos, especially when it's not on the air. But once we get back to September, we're going to go back to doing it like once a week. I think it's not on every single week, but we'll cover each episode the day after. If you're new, if you hadn't seen the South Park one here, we usually could put out a video like a day after. So like the episode airs on Wednesday night, and then I make the video on Thursday, and then it comes out Friday morning. So that's what's going to happen. There's 10 episodes a season typically. I think that's what they're doing this year. So we'll definitely cover those. And then, like I said, I might cover one early, like to try to get back into it. Like, oh, let's catch up on some South Park because the videos are fun. It's like, I basically just walk through the plot, but then we kind of explain the politics and I talk about my take on it. Lots of cool stuff. And let me go ahead and thank Misanthrope1. I appreciate that donation, $10. That's also been a fan for a minute. Pete Myish, conservative hip hop comic book, common sense commentary. Be careful at the Straight Pride Parade. Love you, my G. Thank you very much. I will be careful. I'm excited about that parade, but it is a little worrying, kind of being out there. You know how violent the left has become these days and how much Antifa is already planning to go there. So I'm going to try to stay low key, but I will check it out. This is a good topic. I see someone talking about The Hunt. I'm not sure if that was going to be a video, but I did want to talk about this now. We can still probably do a video, but briefly talk about The Hunt before we wrap things up here. I think we'll go for maybe another 5 or 10, but The Hunt got canceled. I thought that was pretty crazy. There was this movie coming out. Essentially, it's called The Hunt, and it was insane. I mean, speaking of radical liberal stuff, like I was just talking about, someone's saying be safe at the Straight Pride, but like that Hunt movie, it's about a group of radical liberals that go and hunt conservatives. Like I'm not sure how the story spins that, or if that's specifically, but that was the gist I got from it. And I heard on Twitter, and they were going to come out with that movie, and they canceled it. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Like, I can't believe they had to cancel it, but it makes sense with all these tragedies going on, this violence in the news and stuff related to weapons and stuff. Like, I can understand it, but I'm kind of surprised they even made the movie like that far. It was like, I can't believe they actually think hunting people like that for political beliefs like would be sympathetic. It just shows how far the left has gone and how that Trump derangement syndrome is driving people so crazy. They think they could go out and murder the ones that disagree with them. It's insane. Thank you, Darth Cracks, for the 10 donation. I really appreciate that. For that 10, I'll keep going for another, 10 minutes or something. We still got 300 people watching. That's awesome. Let's see. The Hunt got canceled, and there was a few stars in it. Like I saw that Ike Barinholtz was in one of the pictures, and that guy's pretty funny, but he's also done a few weird movies, a few like political movies. Like I saw him do this movie called The Oath last year. It wasn't as bad as this premise sounded, but it was kind of like that. It was kind of like political, and I didn't end up liking it as much. Turkey Tom in the chat says, "I will milkshake you, no BS." I don't doubt that, Mr. TT. Let's see. We got musically electricity. Some people don't know how to separate that stuff. If South Park gets woke, it will be on purpose. Yeah, I don't think South Park will ever get woke. They're always going to make fun of everyone, but something they make fun of a lot is this kind of liberal lunacy that's been going on. Like another topic that came up last year, and I'll go ahead and tease a little bit more. Tomorrow's video, basically, it's about those Democratic Socialist meeting and my reaction to that videos that's been going around. But the reason I thought of South Park in it was like, it seemed like a South Park parody almost. It was so bad and cringy. Like they're talking about privilege and like, just all this SJW buzzwords in the video, and they're being serious about it. And I was like, this looks like an episode of South Park. And then it reminded me of the stuff they covered on South Park before. Like they've done safe space episodes. They've done episodes on socialism too. Like the video is about democratic socialism. And then last season, there was actually like a plot line about socialism, and like South Park they were more subtle about that commentary though. Like a lot of people were taking it both ways, but there was like a socialist revolution at Amazon last season. So it's kind of crazy that that's happening, and that socialism stuff is still really relevant, because that's why South Park wanted to cover it last year, is because it's been rising and it's kind of crazy, Milkshaking is a cowardly action. Yeah, of course. The protagonist was a female Trump supporter. They've done it all. Shout out to Halkin, Nix, TA in the chat, MG official, you go girl. The best black representation in media is Token because he's a joke about tokenism. Yeah, actually, Token comes up a lot. I think I mentioned Token in a video like a week or so ago. I was talking about how they keep doing these race swaps on characters, like especially the superhero ones. I think this might have been in the Marvel Eternals video because they like race and gender swapped every single character in the Eternals. And it's just like, what's the point? And then some people say that's like tokenizing them because it's like when you change a character's race so blatantly like that, you're kind of like turning them into the black version of that character or the brown version. And it's like Token from South Park. That's another South Park reference I had last week. And I was like, yeah, that Token stuff is not cool. I mean, you want to go with like a real character. Like that's why Black Panther is better, or like Falcon on the Marvel Avengers. He's better too because he's like an actual black character. Blade is a good one. Oh, White Panther. I can't wait for that movie. That's going to be the sequel to Black Panther. Amazon has everything except for a brain. Cracks me up how he always mispronounces words. Yeah. Protagonist. I think I got that one right. Hunter signed off. Hunter came on. Good talk. Yeah, we just didn't we had a rough start with the tech, but that was another thing I wanted to bring up. It's like really been hard to get an edge on this streaming. I'm sure I have such a strong connection here too. Like I download everything really fast, but now for one, YouTube took away the Google Hangout stream. That was like the easy web browser streaming option. And I would just always use that because I'm like, I don't want to have to set up all this stuff. Like that's what kept me from streaming. That's part of the reason I stopped streaming. Like I hadn't streamed in like a year until last week. I waited like a year, and it was partly because I was just like, it's such a pain. Like it needs to be really streamlined. This pun, by the way, streamline the streaming stuff because the way they made it harder, it was driving me nuts. Let's shout out to the next donation. I really appreciate that. To Dennis, he says, I'd love for you to make a comedy video of Lance Armstrong getting roasted for his tweet about Mike Pence. It was epic. Yeah, actually, I did see that tweet, and I saw someone roast him on it. I forget who it was, someone I followed, and I was just like, I really agreed because they called him out because basically Lance Armstrong got famous and he got caught cheating, and now he's like famous cheater, and he's like calling out Mike Pence for riding a bike or something. Like I think he said he could beat Mike Pence. Like Mike Pence is just some normal dude. Like Lance Armstrong is like a cheating professional biker, but he was still a pro biker. Like he knows what he's doing. Anyway, shout out to Mexico. Someone said they're losing subs again. I don't see it. I'm not worried. Thank you guys. Try to get the pronunciation word. Oh yeah, it's protagonist. Okay, I like Turkey Tom. Is Hunter here? Did I miss him? Hunter just signed off. We're about to close things up here too, but hey, you still doing your gaming channel? Actually, I do have a second channel. It's linked on our main No Bullshit page, but I haven't posted on there either. Like that was another thing. Like I kind of haven't been streaming as much, but I'm bringing it back. I'm trying here. I know we had some tech difficulties at the beginning of this, but besides that, we got through the stream, we got through the thing. I appreciate you guys watching. We're going to wrap things up. I think I read the last super chat. I went through all of those. And yeah, it was a good show. More videos coming this week, guys. And it's going to be good. It's going to be a good week. I got a lot of cool ideas. If you guys are interested, just stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit that bell. Make sure you comment on the videos. Hit that like button. All that engagement, really appreciate it. And the best thing you could do there is also share with your friends. Thanks for tuning in, guys. When will we stream again? I'm trying to do every Sunday, so I'm going to try to come back this time next Sunday. If you guys are interested, make sure you like this video, and then we'll come back for another one as long as they keep you guys entertained. I appreciate you watching. We're going to sign off. Thanks for watching, the No BS podcast, No Bullshit Live, as this picture says. We're going to have good stuff. Stay tuned. Someone's excited about South Park. They say they love our videos. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.